Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our third video that is going to be about demonstration of solution of real cases that can be found in exam competitions. By the way, let me give a little bit info about the final stage of exam competition that organized by um, just Azerbaijan local chapter. So first of all, it's going to happen on August 20th and at 10 a.m. at the MOOC Training Center in Azure Business Center. So the necessary information has been shared with finalists via email. So you could get this email, just check them. And then what else I would like to share with you is that so uh, for this year, unfortunately, we don't have any sponsor to cover all the necessary expenses. But however, any of the finalists who is going to take, I mean, the first one, three or four place doesn't matter. So whoever wants to go to Las Vegas just to get training from number one experts of Microsoft in Las Vegas, or who is going to check his or her knowledge in Las Vegas. So we have this opportunity, right? And of course, I can share the necessary information like the best place for hotel and other information. So everything is possible. Okay, but anyway, I will try to do my best at least to cover one winner's expenses to go. I hope we are not going to talk about this kind of stuff in next year competitions, but however, it's great opportunity. At least you are going to be listed as a finalist in the list of Financial Modeling World Cup company website, which is visible to all potential employers. So they get knowledge about yourself. Okay, that's great. So now I would like to demonstrate 5 bonus questions uh, from census real case, where Harry C. Watson is author. So let's get just started, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to, first of all, share my screen. Let me share my screen. And I see you have the necessary opportunity to see my screen, right? Okay. Then what I'm just going to do is let me start. Welcome to our. Sorry. Let me start. So what I'm just going to do is a little bit just giving some information about this case. So here we have the list of cities and their statistics, like city names, to which states they are belonging to, their population number, number of households, average households income, and any other information for life expectancy. And also here we have map of Excel state. Excel state is a state that has a number of cities like Birdbury, Birdbend, so on and so forth. And also we have case where we can find 5 um, just case studies, I mean questions, and also we have some level questions. So I'm going to demonstrate these bonus questions, and I hope you will find it useful. Okay, so let's get started. Here our first question says that which city has the highest average household income. So I'm going to make a copy of these cities. So just I'm going to copy, just clicking on Control button, drag and drop, and let's see that example bonus one. Okay, so we have to find the city that has the highest average household income. So household income, average one, is displayed here. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to, solve this problem just in different ways. First of all, let me make a copy of this one and this one, right? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to find the maximum average household income. So it's very easy. I'm saying max. This is the first way and enter. So let me use formula text. And here I'm finding the maximum average household income, right? Now I have to find the city that has this number. So let me type XLOOKUP that will help me to find this number. My lookup value is going to be average household income, which is maximum, right? And then, sorry, and let me change my Schrift font. And I'm going to, first of all, define my lookup array. My lookup array is going to be this one, comma, and my return array is going to be this city column. And enter, control backspace, and we find that Oilboro is the city with the maximum average household income. So let me use formula text, and we'll see the content of that function. So I just type here Oilboro. Yes, this is the answer to bonus one question. Let's go with the second question, which is saying that which state has the most cities? So let me add here bonus one and bonus two. So here, for example, we have our states, and every state has its cities. So we have to find the state with the greatest, with the maximum number of cities. Of course, there are uh, other ways just to solve this issue. But by the way, I have promised you that I would demonstrate more than one way for bonus one question. So let me go back. Sorry for this, and let me complete the other. The methods, and then I will go back to bonus second question. That was the first method. So we can just simply, directly we can use this function starting with xlookup, then saying max, and I'm going to find my maximum average household income, right? And comma, then I have to define my, lookup array, which is going to be, this one, comma, control backspace, and also my return array. Control, and we are going to get this city. So let me use formula text bar. I mean formula, right? And we'll get the content of the second function. This is the direct function. So we can, get the answer for our bonus first question. So there are one more way, which just to find this answer for this question. So this is a filter dynamic function. So let's do it saying that filter, my array is going to be my city list, comma, then for include, I'm going to say the average household number, this array must be equal maximum of this array, average household income, and enter. Thus, we get the same answer. So just pay attention. We demonstrated three methods of finding answer for bonus one question. Now it's time to go back to our, second bonus question, which is saying that which state has the most cities. So let's go a little bit right, and let's get started with solution of this, say question. So here, uh, first of all, we have to find the state name. This is the direct question, right? So that I'm going to find, first of all, our state. So let me copy this one, right? Okay. And here I'm going to find this city, state name. First of all, for this purpose, I'm going to start with let function. I'm saying states, comma, my states is going to be defined by unique function. So let me select this one. Okay. So now I have my unique list of states, which is called states. Now I'm going to find each unique state's number of cities. So I'm going to call this variable like counts, and also I'm going to use count if function, saying that uh, my states list, right, comma, uh, and so I have to give my criteria, right? My criteria is going to be my states, variable states. So closing parenthesis, comma, then I'm going to use X lookup function. Here I'm going to, of course, use max for defining the max number of sets of states. So my sets number is going to be defined by counts variables, comma, once again, counts. This is my lookup array, and my return array is going to be states, and enter. So Excel state is the answer, is the state that has the most number of, you know, um, cities. So Excel state. Let's go back here. So let's say that we are interested of, the number of cities that this Excel state won. So let me make a copy. So here, say number of cities, right? So let me also just, let me type formula text. This is going to give us the content of this formula. And for number of cities, I'm going to use, once again, let function, saying that states and unique function. I'm going to define the unique list of states, closing parenthesis, comma, and for calculation of name too, I'm going to type counts, comma, here I'm going to use count if function. So let me select my states, comma, and of course my, yeah, states. This is going to be my criteria, closing parenthesis. And then I'm going to use max function saying counts, closing parenthesis. And here I'm getting this number 132, which is, number of seats of this Excel state. So that's great, but it would be great also to demonstrate the states with a number of seats in descending order. We have this opportunity. We can do this. So let me expand these columns here. So here, what I'm just going to say city, right, and number of cities, right? So here, I'm going to use the following, let formula. So saying that sorry, let, my name is going to be states, which is going to be defined by unique function, comma, control backspace. For calculation of name two, I'm going to say counts and count if. I'm going to select state array, and my criteria is going to be states, closing parenthesis, comma. Here, I'm going to use sort by function and also h stack. Just sort by will help me sort my column based on the number of cities. So this is the reason that I'm using sort by function. And then h stack will help me to, display my values into columns, right? So h stack states, comma, and also counts. Closing parenthesis, comma, sort by array. So my array is going to be counts, and then in descending order, -1, and enter. Thus, I'm getting, in descending order, cities list and their number also. So here also I can see the city name, Excel state, and its number of cities. So this was the, way that I solved these, bonus questions, right? So let's go back. Okay, now we have to solve the, third just a question. So which says that which row in the Excel state map has the highest population. So let's pay attention here. We have cities, states with their population, and also in map of Excel state, we have, here the cities, for example, Central Bend. So we have to find And these are our, rows. For example, this center band city is located on second row. So we have to find the city name here with highest population number, and then we have to find the row number of that city name with highest, population number. So this is the just question. So how we can solve this question? So we are going to follow the following way. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to make a copy. Let me make a copy, and it's going to be, you know, bonus 3, bonus 3, and enter, right? So let me solve this problem. So yeah, uh, actually, what we can do is, let's say, just first of all, actually, what we can solve is, first of all, we have to display the names of cities, right? And then the names of cities, actually the population number of cities in one column, and then we have to find, the, say, maximum number of population. So this is the way that we have to follow. So let me solve this issue. Okay, just let me display the best way how to solve this issue. Okay, okay. Um, so let's start with let function here. Okay, so let's say let, right? So I'm going to define my map, and I'm going to select this area. This is going to be my area, right? This one. And then I'm going to use by row function that will help me, you know, that will help me to display all the values by row. So this is the purpose. This is the reason that I'm using this, function. So, and then, okay, actually, before by row, I forgot entering my calculation name. That is going to be, population. So let me, yes, type it here. Sorry. Okay, this is, so map, this one, and then I'm going to say population. And my population is going to be defined by row function. And my array is going to be my map. Okay, and for function, I'm going to use lambda. My parameter is going to be defined like r. And then I'm going to use sum, because as in one row, there are more than one cities. So it means that first I have to find each city's population number, and then I have to sum them up. And after that, I will find each, the maximum population number row. So this is the way that I'm going to, follow. Then I'm going to say X lookup. My lookup value is going to be, you know, um, let's say my lookup value is going to be uh, the cities list that, for example, I can apply here. Okay, and comma, then for lookup value, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to define this range, comma, and my actually, yeah, return array, this one. And yeah, then if not found, I'm going to say 0. Closing parentheses. So we, just have to close. Thus, my, by row function has been closed. Then, once again, I'm going to use xlookup, saying that maximum, uh, this time population, and then population as a lookup array, and then map of, Excel state. Let's go here. Actually, we have to, say, let's go here. We have to define, these numbers, row numbers, and closing parentheses, right? One more time, enter. So most probably here we have mistakes. So I have to check this, formula once again. So first of all, let me check it once again. So what we are going to do, uh, so let me check once again. So here I'm going to say let map. This is the map area, which is correct. Then I'm going to define a population by row map, right? And then lambda are some xlookup cities A3 to A422. That's also correct. And then once again, yeah, this is correct till now for parentheses. And then I'm going to use xlookup function, xlookup function, and I say map, actually max population, then population once again, and map of Excel state bonus, right? Yes. Actually, let's let me check once again because I hope I entered correctly. Yes. Yeah, it should work. It should work. Let map this one population by row map lambda r. So sum x lookup cities A3 to A400 just 22, then comma cities. So yes, here I have my mistake. This is, I hope, yes, my mistake. So that it didn't work well. So lambda r is our parameter. Then we have to define its cities, population, and then we have to sum up so that we use xlookup. From cities list, I'm, selecting this one, and then I'm going to define this one, which is also correct. That is going to give me the necessary number. Uh, Yeah. Then X lookup, maximum and population. So it should work. I hope it should work. If not, in this case, I'm going to write this formula once again because it should really, really work. So let's type once again, not to waste our time. So I'm going to delete this function. Sorry for the case. So first of all, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to start with let, right? And for map, I'm going to use map, and this is my map. So let's define. This is going to be my map. Yes. Okay, comma. So let me go here. Yeah, let's say yes. Map. Unfortunately, I don't see my map. Ah, so this is the case that it didn't work. So I hope that was the case. No, doesn't matter. So let me come here, and due to comma, the formula didn't work. So we have to be careful. So comma, and then I'm going to define my second name like population, comma. This time I'm going to use by row function where I'm selecting my map. Unfortunately, these are not. Yes. The problem is that I'm typing, but nothing is displayed. So I will do it once again. My map, you see? Yes. So the problem is with my mouse. I'm sorry for the case. I'm really very sorry. Equals. I hope this time it will work. Okay, comma. Yes, now it should work. And then my second name is going to be population, comma. And for calculation, uh, actually, so it's yeah, calculation name is yeah this one. And for value, I'm going to say by row and opening parenthesis. Sorry, for array, I'm going to say my map, comma. For function, here I'm going to use lambda. For parameter, I'm going to use r. And also here, I'm going to sum up all the population on the same row so that I'm using sum. And also, I'm going to use XLOOKUP to find each city's, just a population number. So sum XLOOKUP, and of course, my lookup value is going to be R, comma, and then for lookup array, I'm going to select, for example, let's select city, and this one, comma. For my return array, I'm going to select um, population number, numbers, right? If there is no number, then I'm going to define it for as 0. So let's guess, yeah. So thus I, just completed, I mean closed my let function. I hope we should not, here, we should not complete this one. So let's say after that, I'm going to type comma, one more X lookup, and my lookup value is going to be maximum population, closing parentheses, comma, lookup array. Once again, it's going to be population. Here also, we should pay attention to the worksheets from where we defined our parameters or calculation or names, right? So lookup array is going to be population, comma, and uh, once again, our return array so is going to be, for example, this one. Yeah, we got it. So here we have to be very careful. We have to define, we have to keep consistency, right? So let me say formula text and enter. So this was the way that I followed in solution of this, problem. Now, let's say that what else we can do? For example, we can, you know, uh, type here the overall population number of the seats, found in every row. So we have this opportunity. Let me add some, let me insert some, you know, um, columns. So here I'm going to say cities and populations. So I'm going to type the following function, saying that let, so for name one, I'm going to define it as map. And also, let's go to map of Excel state. Let's select this one, comma, and then I'm going to use by row function. And I'm going to, for by row, define select my array, which is map, comma, and for, function, I'm going to select just, lambda. Here, I'm going to select my, once again, um, array, which is map, right? And then, uh, actually, it's not map. From after lambda, I'm going to define my parameter, which is r. Then I can just select some function and then x lookup. And so my lookup value is going to be r. Okay. And then I'm going to select the array of cities, right? For lookup array. Let's do it from here, comma. And then also for population number, I'm going to select cities worksheet and this array, right? And then I say that, comma, if there is, if not found, it's going to be 0. And also I'm going to, just, yeah, yeah. So here I get the necessary list for each row. Let me use formula text to see the content of formula. And here, what I can do, for example, I simply can use max function and I can find this number. Then, of course, I can apply, XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP, something like this, just to find this, number. Actually, this is row number 2. So here I can, see that this is row number of this one, right? So I'm going to back to my case and say the row number is going to be 2. Let's go with the, force function, I mean question. What's the total population of all cities that are not in Excel state? So I'm going to make a copy of this one, right? And let's say, actually, we have to solve the first one, right? Uh, let it be here, but what I'm just going to do, I'm going to make a copy of this one. Actually, 6, right? And let me say bonus 4. Okay, so let's solve this problem. Let's go back to our question once again. What's the total population of all cities that are not in Excel state? Actually, this is very straightforward question. We can solve this one. It should be easy, right? So let me actually type it here, right? I'm saying that count if my range is going to be, you know, uh, actually not count if. We have to use sum if. And our criteria range is going to be from cities, this one, states one, comma, and we say that it should not be included by Excel state, comma, and coming back to cities worksheet, we select this column and closing parentheses, enter. So this is the answer that we should, get. Yeah. So this is the answer that we got. Okay, now we came to the last question. It says that on the Excel state map, what's the average income per capita across the cities, vertically or horizontally, not diagonally, touching a water tile? Round only your final answer to the nearest integer, and note that the result for each city needs weighting by population. First of all, let me delete this one. Actually, we don't need it. Oh my God. So delete and delete. Now we have here a map of Excel state. So let me type it here like bonus 5, right? So if you pay attention, here we have water and we have this one. Actually, land one. So what I'm just going to do is, first of all, I will solve this problem. Uh, so here I have to, define the necessary list of necessary seats that touch water, not diagonally. Okay, so let's also use this one. Okay, let me say bonus 5. Okay, so from here we can say that, for example, this city metro view is touching. Let me copy paste, right? This one, for example, this one, right? Okay. And then we can come down. For example, this city, East Bend, is diagonally touched. So we don't need it, but this one, let me select. It's better to use mouse. And let me also select this one. Sorry. Okay. Actually, this one. Right. Let's go down. Okay. Yeah. Let me check once again here. Yes, we have this one also. Right. So 5. And of course, we have the last 6s and 7s ones. Yes. So these are the cities that touch water. So let's go back here. Okay. So what I'm just going to do, first of all, what we can say, we can add income per capita. It's a mathematical calculation. So how it's calculated? So first of all, we can calculate it. So for this purpose, we say that, for example, average average household income times by number of households divided by number of population, right? So it's going to be income per capita. So we can select this way. And then what I'm just going to do, I'm going to, add some, yeah, these ones. So let me add. And here we have to find the weighted average, right? Also, of course, we can add this one, income per capita. So we calculated income per capita for each city, but the question is a little bit different. So question says that we have to find a weighted average of cities, these 7 cities. Yeah. Uh, so what the average income per capita? So this is the way that we have to, we have to find average, but weighted one. It's very important. So what I can use here, first of all, I'm going to simply just use VLOOKUP function. And my lookup value is going to be, this city. Let me fix it. I'm going to fix just, the column. And then my table array is going to be this one. And I'm going to fix all of them. And my column number, for column number, I'm going to use just match function. Lookup value is going to be my population. Let me fix it. Yes, I hope it's going to work. And my lookup value is, lookup array is going to be this one, which is going to be fixed, and 0, closing parentheses, and one more 0 for false, and enter. And I'm going to get the necessary answer, right? And let me just also, yeah, change the format. So this is what I'm going to get. Now I have to find the weighted average. So for weighted average, let me show you the calculation. So weighted average. So for this purpose, first of all, I'm going to use some product function. So for my array, I'm going to select number of households, right? So this is number of households, right? Comma, then I'm going to say average household income, right? Closing parentheses divided by sum of, my population. And this is going to be to give me the, weighted average for the selected 7 cities. So here I'm going to add my round function, and I'm going to say comma 0, and this is going to be my answer. Okay, so it brings us to the end of today's session. So sorry, just I had some issues with typing, this formula. Actually, I hope it was related to this one. Yeah, I hope this one. Yes. So doesn't matter. So this one. So at the end of the day, we solved all the problems. I have one more demo where I'm going to demonstrate the solution of four more, just uh, I mean, solution of 5 or 4 bonus question, and it's going to be happen in next upcoming days. So I'm going to stop sharing. If you have anything just to show to ask, you can reach me, at ilgars@gmail.com, that I'm going to type my email address on YouTube channel. I mean, text box, right? And also you can, follow my Meetup group. So thank you very much. See you in upcoming session. Thank you.